All right. I just opened up Instagram and the first thing that pops up is this. The human anus can stretch up to 7 inches before taking damage. A raccoon can squeeze into holes as tight as 4 inches, meaning you can take almost 2 full raccoons up your ass. See, this is what I have to open the internet to. This is just what pops up. And this is why our brains are screwed. Mine in particular. I didn't need to know that. I didn't need to know that. I now will not be able to stop thinking about that. And it's a problem. Okay. The internet has ruined my brain. It's also my job. So I definitely have a love-hate relationship with it. Another horrific thing that the internet has done is convince me that I have like every mental illness under the sun, plus I'm in a trauma bond. Now, do I actually think I'm in a trauma bond? No, but did I see some TikTok video where I identified with one of the determining factors? Yes, I did. And now am I pulling up a quiz titled, "Are you in a trauma bond?" quiz? Yes. And are we going to take it together right now? Absolutely. Yes, we are. I told Steven, hey, I think we may be in a trauma bond. And he goes, what is that? And I was like, I'm not quite sure. I can't remember. I looked at it at 1 a.m. on TikTok last night. And I remember identifying with one of the things. And then he Googles it and it's like, it's an extremely abusive relationship that you can't get out of. And I'm like, oh, and he's like, this is horrific. This is absolutely horrific. Oh God, oh God. And I'm like, wait, no, hold on. No, that's not, maybe it's not a trauma bond, but it was just terrible. And this is why I should also get off TikTok, because TikTok has me believing things. I think I thought he was a narcissist like 5 months ago because I saw 3 videos on it. But we're going to take this quiz nonetheless. Okay. This is question number 1. Do you sometimes find yourself making up excuses to cover up for the other person's mistakes? I mean, okay. A is, yes, I want to believe they are right. B, sometimes I know people make mistakes and I want to be forgiving. C, no, I've never done that before. I want to say I'm going to go with B. Sometimes I know that people make mistakes and I want to be forgiving because I make mistakes. I have shortcomings, and he's my partner and my best friend and my husband and the father to my children. And sometimes I know, oh, he's stressed out. So he, acted in this very human way, and we all have character defects. So yeah, of course, I'm going to sometimes excuse, behavior that's normal, that I have character defects too. Okay. Moving on. Number 2, are you pushing away others who are trying to offer advice or help? No, not at all. No. Okay. And the 2 answers are A, yes, although I need their help, I can't help but avoid receiving it. B is no, I know when I need help and I'm willing to receive it. I would say absolutely B, without a doubt. Question number 3. Do you find yourself trying overly hard to make the other person happy? A, yes, I want them to be as happy as possible, even if it means sacrificing my own happiness. B, no, I believe that we should both put in equal effort to make this relationship work. I would say B. I would say absolutely B. I love to make him happy, but I also expect him to do nice things for me as well. I think we're both responsible for that. Number 4, are you lying about being fine when the relationship actually isn't? A, yes, I know that everything will fall apart sooner or later, but I don't want to let it go. B, kind of. There are a few bumps in our relationship, but I believe we can make it work. C, no, I know when to call it quits. I would say B. I would say definitely B. Like, for example, this weekend, I flew back from visiting my aunt. For those of you who caught the last episode, I was flying home to Chicago to say goodbye to my godmother, who literally taught me how to walk, who helped me get sober. She's just been so influential in my life, and she is not doing well at all. And I didn't want to miss her. And so I flew back and I spent 4 days just by her side in the hospital, physical therapy hospital place. And it was amazing. I brought her her favorite food and played her favorite music. And we talked about all our favorite memories. I told her why she was so important to me. We held each other. We cried. We laughed. We just sat there together and existed together. It was so, so beautiful. And this is your sign. If there's anyone in your life that you care about, that you love, that you've been thinking about calling or texting, but you haven't, please do that today, because you never know when the last time you're going to see them or talk to them is. And you don't want to live with that regret of, I should have reached out. I should have let them know how much they mean to you. They don't have to be dying for you to do this. But it was the most beautiful 3-4 days ever. I mean, I'm still have this little part of me that's like, what if she recovers? Maybe I could see her one more time. I don't know. We'll see. She's not really moving much or eating much, but she remembered me. I told her specific memories and she recalled those memories, and it was amazing. And she was funny. It was just better than I could have imagined. And every single day I scratched her head to sleep. I would go there multiple times a day and just rub her head to sleep. And it was just the most special thing ever. Okay. Anyway, whoa, did I get so sidetracked or what? So the reason I brought that up is because when I flew home, Steven and I had like a pretty difficult weekend. So he picks me up from the airport. He's been in traffic for over 2 hours. He's incredibly stressed, and he just like can't let go of that stress of being in like crawling nonstop traffic for over 2 hours. And he's just kind of like shaky and has a lot of anxiety. So it wasn't this like amazing, like, hi, I haven't seen you in 4 days, kiss, hug, love. He was stressed out. And by the way, I get the same way. If I've been driving for hours, and I get a lot of anxiety, especially in airports and things like that. So it was understandable, but it was kind of just like anxious and cold, and our interaction. And I was like, damn, okay, well, this is going to pass, And then we drove home and we had some good conversation. And I was like, okay, great. But then the weekend happened, and he was just kind of like cold towards me and not really talking to me much. And I was like, what's going on? What's wrong? And nothing, but just like very short. When someone, you can just tell something's wrong, even though they tell you nothing's wrong, it's still very obvious that something's wrong. And I feel like for me, if something's wrong, I want to talk about it. I, want to like deal with it right then and there. And I feel like with Steven, if something's wrong, it like takes him a while to process it. And he and many men I know, including him, are not great with like talking about their feelings and like what's really going on and getting vulnerable. And I shouldn't stereotype, but it's just my experience. Like my father's like that, Steven's like that. And for me, I have this like deep fear of abandonment, and I'm just like get really scared and feel like unloved, and it just triggers something. And I try so hard to step back and go, okay, he's dealing with something, he's not ready to talk about it. And rather than just like stepping back and like playing with the kids and like being okay with the fact that we're not really communicating, and I don't know why. I try to do that. And I think one of the days I did it really well. And then the next day I started like spiraling a little, just like getting really sad that he wouldn't communicate with me, when I know we've been through this cycle 1,000 times over. And every single time, like our psychiatrist has said, like he needs space. He really struggles to like talk about what's going on. So just give him the space and he'll come around, and just live your life. And for me, I have that like attachment style thing where I struggle to do that, to just let him be and just move on and be okay. Like that's an ongoing battle for me. So yeah. So I guess my point is that this weekend was really difficult. And then finally, after 2 days of very, cold, not really talking, kind of snappy and like grumpy and stuff, and me just totally clueless as to why. Finally, he admitted, like at the end of day 2, he was like, okay, fine. I'm really worried because, our bills are stacking up, and I'm worried that the show, what if it doesn't work out? And, why hasn't this brand deal closed? And like, it was all work stuff that was like, and he was like, I'm terrified. It's all going to go to shit. And he just like let it out. And I was like, babe, you could have just told me that in the beginning. And he goes, no, because you tell me not to be negative, that we should be positive and visualize. And so I didn't want to be negative. I didn't want to do that because you said not to. And, he's right. I did say that, but I meant more like, I don't want to hear a pessimistic viewpoint all day long. Like that fucks with my mental state. It's fine to like sit down and say like, I'm in a lot of like financial fear and all of that. But to have that like glass half empty viewpoint all day, all night, like if I hear that all day, it's just going to affect me, and I'm not going to be able to be productive and creative and a good mom and a good, worker. Anyway, so the point is we talked about it, and it was like amazing to just talk about what was really going on. And I was like, babe, like you could just tell me that. You could just sit down and like, I'm a safe space. You can tell me that. And then we can talk about it. We can work through it. And he felt so much better. And all of a sudden the loving, kind, compassionate Stephen was back. But those 2 days were like hellish for me. Like, I think some people, like I have a friend who I feel like deals with a similar thing, and she's like able to just move on and stay positive and be okay. Whereas like I spiral. And anyway, I think that was one of the things that led me to believe like, am I in a trauma bond? But then apparently it's more serious than okay. Anyway, I'm fucking getting so distracted. Okay. So this question says, is there emotional or physical abuse followed up by periods of makeups and happy in the relationship? Sorry. Is there emotional or physical abuse followed up by periods of makeups and happiness in the relationship? So A says, yes, the other person tends to either harm or overly show their affection in a cycle. And then B says, no, our relationship does not follow such trends. Emotional or physical abuse sounds so serious. So physical abuse, never know, except for one time I smacked him one time when we separated. That was the one incident in 11 years, which I write about that all in the book. If you want to know all the tea, it's all in my book. That's in my second book, Idiots. But no, we're not physically abusive. Now, emotional, I would say there's definitely times like this weekend where I felt that he was unkind to me, and I don't know what that is. So, it's just really hard for me to say. Yeah, but if I'm being honest, it did feel like a bit of like kind of like stonewalling, like not really talking to me and being really snappy with me. But I don't know if that qualifies as emotional abuse or not. So, and then we made up, and there was happiness in the relationship right now. And it's like this huge relief. I don't know. Isn't that normal? Isn't that just normal relationship stuff? By the way, I did talk to Stephen about this episode, and I said I was going to be, covering this topic, but I would say yes, like it is emotionally harmful, and that we go through periods of that. It's emotionally harmful in periods, like, and then the next like couple of months will be fine, and then something else will happen where it's just some sort of normally it's like he's very, very upset and doesn't want to talk about it. And so we don't have any sort of communication. And then I'm lost. And then my part is like spiraling and being attached and codependent. Like that's my part, is feeling so codependent, in our relationship. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's like, I would say I think it's like avoidant. And then I don't know, man, say in the comments, I bet y'all know what I'm talking about, but yeah. Okay. Next question. Did your relationship progress unbelievably fast? Oh God. A, yes. In the beginning, things moved really fast. B, no. In my opinion, our relationship progressed at a normal pace. Let me just break this down for you. So I would say A, yes. In the beginning, things moved really fast. So to the point where like we met at a party, he saw me and said he knew I was the one that night. We fell in love pretty quickly. He proposed to me in 6 months, after 6 months of dating. And then we got married after a year. So I wouldn't say it's like terribly fast. I know a lot of, grandparents are like, I saw Gladys one day and we were married in week 3 and had 6 children in week 4. So I would say I've heard of a lot of faster relationships that have progressed much faster, but I would say yes. I would say we fell in love very fast. Okay, next question. Do you feel like there are only either extreme highs or extreme lows in your relationship? A, yes, I only experienced the 2 extremes with them. B, no. Our relationship has highs, lows, and everything in between. Absolutely B. 100% unequivocally B. We have boring patches, we have highs, we have lows, we have all of it. Okay. Like Alfie's sleeping in between us now, and it's so cute. And we just read him stories and cuddle him in, and Steven shows him videos of cars, like just random cars driving along streets, and he loves it. And we just smile and love him and cuddle, and it's just so sweet and like safe and wonderful. And that's most of our nights. Okay. Next question. Is the other person's love conditional? Interesting. A, yes, there are rules that I must follow to gain their love. B, no, they would love me no matter what I do. So I certainly felt, well, first of all, I should say, I believe no, they would love me no matter what I do. But I did at times feel like our relationship is better when, work is going better. Our relationship is going better, because we're in better moods, because, we had a great video and we feel excited, or, the kids did something cool, so we feel excited. Like there are definitely external things that make our relationship feel more exciting. But I think that's true for everyone. It's like you get good news, you're in a good mood, you're more loving to your partner. Right? When things are not going great, you might be a little down. Therefore, you're maybe not as kind to your partner, or just kind of indifferent with your partner because you don't feel like talking to anyone because you're depressed or whatever. Anyway, no, I don't think the love is conditional. When Steven and I met, I was completely broke and lost and newly sober. And he believed in me and believed that I could be someone, and just showed me nothing but love and affection and support, and said, you can do this, Laura. I know you can do this, and really pushed me to be my best self. So, no, I would say they would love me no matter what I do. He's loved me through relapses, through, me being a psycho, jealous, girlfriend, through through it all. And I would say I've loved him through it all too. I've loved him through his relapses and issues that we've had. So Okay. Next question. Can your relationship be described as chaotic or unpredictable most of the time? A, yes, I feel like those terms sum up our relationship very well. B, no, our relationship is far from that. I would say B, no, our relationship is far from that. We absolutely have struggles like we did this weekend where he's avoiding talking to me and I'm desperate for communication and love. That does happen from time to time, and that has happened from the beginning. But if anything, I would say that that's predictable. That's going to happen a couple times a year, and that's just trauma that we both have to work on. But overall, I would say our relationship is very predictable. Next question. Are you trying to fix the other person? A, yes, I believe that there is good in them despite all they've done to harm me. B, no, I am not. So this is an interesting one because I definitely went through a period where I was trying to fix, quote unquote, though I have to say I love so many things about him, and we have a really strong connection and love, and we agree on so many core issues. And we've done really well at, parenting together and working together, and overall it's good. But I have gone through phases in our relationship of like, if he would do this or if he didn't do that. And I have in the last maybe year sort of thrown my hands up and gone, let me just focus on me rather than trying to get us to go into therapy together. If he doesn't want to, there is literally no point. So I can just take responsibility for my mental health and just, keep the focus on myself and just practice accepting him for exactly who he is. And that's easier said than done. And vice versa, I'm sure. But so now I would say I'm like in a place of, loving and accepting not just him, like my mother and my sister and my friends, for exactly who they are. It's just kind of pointless to try and fix someone is what I've come to realize. You can know that someone should get sober, but unless they want to, they're not going to. You can want someone to communicate their feelings and be vulnerable with you, but they might not be at that point. And so there is no point in nagging or, I shouldn't say nagging, but trying to fix someone. So I would say right now, no, I'm not trying to fix. No. Next question. Do you feel like you're constantly walking on eggshells with the other person? A, yes, I never know when they're going to snap, so I have to be careful at all times. B, no, I do not feel this way. I would say B, no, I do not feel this way. Of course, there are times like I spoke about this weekend where he seems in a bad mood, but I wouldn't say I'm walking on eggshells. I would just say it creates a really negative energy in the house, and that's upsetting. But I wouldn't say that I'm walking on eggshells. Oh, if I say this, I would just say it's sad, but it's not. I wouldn't say eggshells is the right terminology. Do you feel forced to stay in this relationship? A, yes, I don't think that I'll be able to survive if we break it off. B, no, I feel comfortable with leaving. Well, this is a tough one because I don't, in no way do I want to leave this relationship. So I would say no, I would feel comfortable leaving if something happened, but that's not the case. Next question. Does the other person always break their promises to you? A, yes, they always say they'll do something, but never actually get it done. B, no, they always keep their promise. First of all, this whole always and never thing is such bullshit. I don't know any relationship that is an always or a never, but I would say most of the time I keep my promises and most of the time he keeps his promises. But guess what? We are imperfect humans. And sometimes I say, I'm going to go get cash out to pay someone and I forget, because that did happen. And he asked me like 5 times and I promised I would do it. And I just didn't do it because I forgot and I have ADHD and it just fucking happened. So we're human. Okay. I would say most of the time we do keep our promises. Next question. Are you constantly in a state of confusion over the status of your relationship? A, yes, I don't know where we stand. B, no, our status is simple and clear. I would say B, our status is simple and clear, although there are times that I'm confused at why he's upset. There are times I'm confused, and I'm sure that there are times he's confused why I'm upset or whatever. But there are times, but it's not an all or never. I wish there was more nuance to this fucking internet quiz. Okay. Next question. Do you have little to no personal boundaries in this relationship? A, yes, everything I do or have must be shared with my partner. B, no, we have a healthy level of privacy in our relationship. I would say no, we have a healthy level of privacy in our relationship. I would say, if anything, I've overstepped that boundary with him. He's always given me a lot of privacy, and I'm the one who in the past has done really unhealthy things. Like I've snooped through his stuff, shit that I'm really not proud of because of my insecurity. Oh, what if he's talking to someone? Or just let my mind create these horrible scenarios. And I have gotten much, much better at that. So I feel so much better about that too. Just trusting that if anything were to happen, that the universe will disclose to me exactly what I know when I need to know it. And I choose to believe that because it feels really good. Rather than trying to run the show and control everything. So, but I have had issues in the past, and that's like, it feels like my worst self, my insecure self that, but he's always given me privacy, which is nice. Do you keep hoping for your partner to change? A, yes, I know they have problematic behaviors, but I am still searching for the good in them. B, no, that is not the case for our relationship. Again, I feel like there's nuance missing in this quiz, because do I want him to be a better communicator? Absolutely. Am I overall so happy with who he is and our dynamic and love for each other? Absolutely. There's just these moments, and I guarantee you there are things that he wishes he could change with me, like maybe my insecurity or the fact that he doesn't feel he gets enough space, because I have this deep fear of being abandoned. Like, I'm sure he would like to change that about me, but overall, does he love who I am and our dynamic? Yes. But yes, I would say that one bit, I would like that to change. I would like us to get to that point where if something is wrong, we could just sit down and just talk about it. That's what I want. I just want to be able to sit down and just talk about it and just work it out. That's my dream. But that's not how everyone is wired. Okay, submit. We're done. We did it. I just hit submit. Oh my God. Okay, are we ready for the results? Am I in a trauma bond? Here are the results. Are you fucking kidding me? You want to know what it says? You want to guess? Are you kidding me? This online quiz, it says, possible trauma bonding occurring. Based on your answers, it is still a bit unclear if you are in a trauma bond. Oh, glad we cleared that up. However, taking this quiz is a sign that you feel you might be in a trauma bond. That is enough to create a plan of action to help you understand your own experience and, if you choose, leave the situation or relationship. Please consult the following resources to learn more about trauma bonds and get assistance. Are you kidding me? So, yeah, this was pretty unhelpful, but I don't know. I'm going to show Steven and he's going to be like, you're being over dramatic. But yeah, I do feel, I would love to know your thoughts and your comments on all of this, because I just don't think it's so black and white. Like if I look around me at all the relationships of like friends and family, there is not one relationship that doesn't have an issue here or there. You know, you would like to think, oh, two people come together whole and completed and evolved, and they come together to bring out the best in one another. And like, yes, there's an element of that, but we also come with our own trauma, and not all of that will be resolved. And so you're coming maybe partially a little bit broken in one or two areas of your life. And maybe, you know, it's the job of your partner to show you what you need to heal. So Steven is absolutely showing me that I need to heal my fear of abandonment and really affirm that I'm enough on my own, and that I'm capable, and that I am a whole person, and that no one is going to complete me, that I am a full cup, that I am enough. And I would say overall, he makes me a better person. And sure, we have struggles. I don't know another couple that doesn't have them. Did you take the quiz along with me? What were your findings? I would love to know. And I should say the word trauma bond, the meaning, it's very, very serious. And I don't ever want to trivialize it and be insensitive to anyone who's going through a seriously abusive relationship. That's not my intention at all. I just saw some videos on it and I was interested to learn more about it. And I just wanted to see and just take the quiz. So yeah, we did it. I want to know your thoughts. I love you so much. Thank you for listening to another episode of this podcast. I hope that you learned something new and were entertained, and I distracted you a little bit from your day. And as always, please, for me, just think about 5 things you're grateful for right now, because it's just really hard to be pissed off and grateful at the same time. So just really think about 5 things you're grateful for right now. I mean, you're okay enough to be listening to this right now. So that's wonderful that you're healthy enough to be listening, that your ears work. Isn't that great? Your ears work. You can hear me right now. So I'm going to go off and write kid songs for toddlers, because that's what I do now, because I just felt this really, really strong urge to create content for my kids and for toddlers. So that's what we're doing. And it's been so much fun. We just wrote a song about butterflies, alligators, days of the week, a phonics song. It's just never ending, and it's so much fun, and I'm just constantly learning. So if you haven't subscribed yet and you have young kids, it's called Pammy's World on YouTube. Go subscribe. It's new videos every single Saturday morning. So you can just get a fucking break from your children and just like go piss alone is really one of the reasons I did it, because I was so grateful for the educational YouTube kid shows that I could just put on so I could like cook or scroll TikTok or, you know, go pee. Just so grateful for them. And of course, wanting to make content that my kids could watch. So yeah, so go do that, and make sure to subscribe to my YouTube as well. I'm posting video podcasts every week, and YouTube Shorts. So hit that subscribe button on the Laura Clara YouTube and make sure to give this podcast a follow if you're loving and enjoying it. You can just hit the follow button on Spotify or Apple or wherever you're listening. And I love you very much. And thank you for coming on this journey with me. And until next time, I love you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Please try and find something you can do today that brings you joy, whether it's that cappuccino or a little meditation or calling your best friend or having that dark chocolate or taking a too long shower or bath. Whatever it is, I hope you find a little time in your day to do that. Oh, and don't forget to call a loved one, anyone that you love, and just tell them why they're amazing. Please do that. I love you. Until next time. Okay.